Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for clicking on 5 News Web News. It is Monday, May 6th. I'm Matt Heckel, and here are some of the top stories we've been following today here on 5 News. The investigation continues into the murder of Skylar Neese. 2 teenage girls were arrested last week, but the events surrounding what happened and why it happened still aren't clear. Now, last week, Rachel Schoaf and another teenage girl were arrested in connection with the death of Skylar Neese. If you remember, Neese went missing last July, and in January, her remains were found in Pennsylvania. Schoaf pleaded guilty to second-degree murder in that case. The 2 girls went to University High School together, and an administrator there told us that grief counselors have been brought into the school. Also, 5 News was able to dig up Rachel Schoaf's profile on a website designed for people who want to make a living in the theater industry. Just hours after the arrests were announced on Wednesday, Neese's father showed anything but remorse for Schoaf, but did tell us he feels sorry for her parents. Now, a lot of people in our area are really outraged about a possible sentence that Rachel Schoaf could get and think 20 years just isn't long enough. Alex Shook, who has worked with everyone involved in the Skylar Neese murder case, now he says it is important to understand that second-degree murder carries a punishment of 10 to 40 years here in West Virginia. Shook also added that recommended sentence is a product of a negotiation between the prosecutors and Schoaf's defense team. He mentioned it could be a reflection of how much evidence prosecutors have against Schoaf. If they don't have a lot of proof she committed the crime, they'll usually offer a better deal to make a plea deal more enticing. Now, he suggested it could also indicate that Schoaf is willing to cooperate with prosecutors or offer testimony against the other teenage girl charged in the case. While the sentence appears to be light, he said the judge, though, could dish out a different punishment.
The judge is not obligated to accept the plea arrangement or the sentence recommendation made by the state. The judge could disagree with the agreement and not accept the suggestions of either the state or the defense counsel.
Now, he admitted if a deal is hammered out, typically a judge will accept it, but we won't find that out until Schoaf is sentenced. The mother of a missing 3-year-old, Aaliyah Lunsford, could be moved back from Wheeling back to Clarksburg. Lena Lunsford was released from a federal prison earlier this year after serving 8 months for welfare fraud. Lunsford has been living at the YWCA in Wheeling. Now, her attorney says federal probation officials plan to relocate her after the YWCA said she is no longer eligible for a substance treatment program which allowed her to stay there for free. He says Lunsford is considered a, quote, outcast in the Clarksburg area since her daughter disappeared in 2011. Well, a motorcycle accident on I-79 in Marion County on Saturday night killed 1 man. That happened just before 10 o'clock around mile marker 137 in the southbound lanes. Those lanes were shut down for over an hour. The driver of the motorcycle died shortly after the crash, but officials say he was wearing a helmet. Still no word on what exactly caused that accident. A teenage boy had to be flown to the hospital last night after the ATV he was riding flipped over. That happened around 7 o'clock on Indian Fork Road in Barber County. 2 officers told us 2 17-year-old boys were on the ATV when it hit some loose gravel and rolled over. One of the boys was thrown from the ATV and wasn't wearing a helmet. We still have no word on his condition. Officers aren't releasing his name because he is a minor. Well, the FBI searched the home of Tamerlan Tsarnaev Sunday. Now, he is the Boston Marathon bombing suspect who was killed in a shootout with police. Sources tell CBS News that authorities have found small amounts of bomb residue in the Cambridge apartment. This comes as relatives are preparing Tamerlan's body for funeral, but the funeral home director says he has not yet found a cemetery willing to accept the body. And let's take a quick look at what our newsroom's working on for tonight for First at 5 and 5 News at 6. First up, more on that motorcycle accident that killed a local man. Plus, we're going to continue our look into the gluten-free diet craze. Are they good for people who don't have a gluten intolerance? And finally, a week of sunshine turns to some much-needed rain for this week. We're going to tell you how much you can expect. That is tonight on First at 5 and 5 News at 6. Be sure to tune in then. Until then, have a great Monday, everybody.